Hello, and welcome to Beyond Curriculum, the professional development series for ASC tutors at College of the Siskiyous. In this video, we'll be taking a look at positive reinforcement and how you can use it in your tutoring sessions. So, positive reinforcement is just a way of letting tutees know that they've done something well. After all, who doesn't like the feeling of knowing that they've done something correctly? So, whether your tutoring sessions are face to face or online, that positive reinforcement may look a little different. For instance, in a face to face tutoring session, you'll use smiles and nods when something was done well, or even a thumbs up or a high five. In an online tutoring session, those cues may be less physical and more verbal, just saying, hey, you did a great job on that. Or if you're in a chat session, you could use a happy emoji or something like that. And it's really important to give the student credit for coming to see you. Make sure that they know that they've taken a really positive step toward their student success. Now, we all know what positive feedback sounds like. Things like, great job, or you did it. Just things that let a student know that they've done something well. But what does positive feedback actually do? Well, it serves several functions, and one of them is it increases the likelihood of positive behavior happening again. So once someone does something and they get the positive feedback that they've done it well, they're more likely to repeat that behavior. It also increases the time a student may be willing to spend on a difficult task. And this kind of makes me think of running a marathon. You see at the end, there are people watching on both sides of the finish line, and they're just saying to people, come on, you can do it. You can just go a few more feet. And a tutor can do that very same thing in a tutoring session by encouraging a student just to keep going a little bit longer. Positive reinforcement also increases a student's sense of self-worth. We all feel better when we know we've done something well and when someone recognizes that. And positive reinforcement helps a student to develop courage to try new or difficult things. Once you know that you're on the right track, you can build on your successes and keep doing things in succession so that you achieve your educational goals. Now, positive reinforcement also helps tutees to see themselves as a math student or a writer or a scientific thinker or a historian or whatever the subject is. It's important to have um, a tutor reinforce that role to you, that role of a student. Now, you don't want to overuse positive reinforcement. Your goal really is to get to a point where the tutee can work on their own. So you want to avoid getting into a situation where the tutee is looking at you every time they say something, waiting for that positive feedback. But some well-placed positive reinforcement can really go a long way, and the student eventually can internalize that and do it for themselves, and they'll know when they've done something well, and they can internalize that positive feedback and be able to work on their own. Now, you never want to give positive feedback that isn't warranted. You want to be sincere with your feedback, but you do want to look for what was done well. So if you receive a paper to look over, for instance, and it has some issues, you might want to find some things that the student has done well and start with that so that the student can build on their successes. You might say, hey, you have a real knack for telling a story. Now all we need to do is work on the mechanics, on the punctuation and the spelling. So find something good in a paper and highlight that. Notice what was done correctly. So if a student got part of a question right, but not the whole thing, make sure they know that they did something correctly before you go on to what they need help with. And you want to praise the behavior, not the person. So rather than saying to a student, "You're so smart," you might want to say, "I notice that you're using your notes while you're answering these questions, and that's a really great habit to get into." Or, "Hey, I see that you're annotating your text, and it's really great to talk to the text. It's really helpful when you're reading." So praise the behaviors that you'd like to see continue. And if you use positive feedback well, you'll help your students to build confidence and to be successful. Thank you for being a part of the Academic Success Center family, and thank you for watching.